Hi, if you're wondering where I've been for a few days, and if it ever happens again that I'm just disappearing, this is what happens when I'm trying to organize the model area, the shelves, the clutter in the garage. So, due to comments on the videos and due to a little bit of discussion about organization of shelves and things, I decided that I really do need to get things a little bit more organized, both here in the garage and inside. So number one, many of the models which were just hanging around in various places are mostly getting back into the shelves, display cases, sort of getting organized, a bit of cleanup, dusting off the wings and things like that. So the Mitchell is in its cabinet. And also the large amount of half-builts or in-progress models. I'm trying to get an organization system going. It's starting. One of the viewers had a system whereby they labeled their shelves A, B, C, D, E, which I quite like the concept of. And I'm going to try and go for an ABC system where, for instance, the C shelf would be stuff that is close to finish, just needs last decals, last bits of attention, last goods to be stuck on, whatever the case. B would maybe be an airframe that's complete and maybe it's even got some of its paint on, but it's still got a bit of work to go. And A would be maybe an airframe that's almost together but hasn't had any paint on, that sort of thing. And then, of course, boxes with the bits and all that. I'm trying to get a nice system going. The more organized I am, the better things go, and I'm not very organized at heart. Okay, let's just open with a few models which I haven't shown you. So that Ferrari 250 is I can't remember which brand it is. It's not a great model. It wasn't one of the more quality models, but it made a very nice one. The wheels are very nice, actually. I can't complain. I really can't remember what it was, but I was wanting to do a fairly quick build, which I did. Now, one of the things that you might just catch in the light there, look on the bonnet, and you're going to see crack marks. So I've had this on about 2 models. You can just make it out. Crack marks in the paint. Oh, on the roof as well. See those cracks there? So you can hardly see it unless you look for it. And that's, okay, so part of the reason is painted straight onto gloss plastic. And possibly that a gloss coat was painted before the red had enough time to dry. I'm not sure exactly. I've only had this happen twice and I can't remember now. The interesting thing is the cracking happened years afterwards, which is very odd. If you've got some interesting information on that cracking, because I've only got about, I think only 2 models that this has ever happened on. So the only thing I can think about there is possibly not enough time went by between coats, but even then after spraying, everything was fine for many years. This one, this is Airfix, I'm pretty sure, and I just wanted something nice and bright. I'm sure I got this scheme off the internet and maybe modified it a little bit, because I don't think that silver's standard. And yeah, again, I wasn't looking to put in any major effort on it, but a very nice little display piece in the end for, what Airfix is. This Dornier 17, still not complete. This goes back to about 1995, 6, 7, somewhere around there. No masking of the canopies. Not a bad a masking of the scheme. Not as good as I would do now, not by a long shot. Some parts still need to be painted, like the little aerials and the little control, whatever these, I don't know if that's the control horns for the elevators. Anyway, at one stage I really liked the Dornier 17. Since then I've become far more of a fan of the 217. This one, Airfix again. I was just keen to do a quick build of the G, is it? F, sorry, F. Now, I can't remember exactly, but interestingly, no swastikas. So even on this old kit, it's possible that they either didn't supply them in there, or I obtained a kit that they had been cut out of or something to that effect. I'm going to come back to this model in a moment, because what I want to speak on today a little bit is, and it's going to have to be fairly quick, is matte versus gloss paint. Now, I was pondering making a video saying the second best tip that I could give would be moving from matte, the heavy matte. No, I didn't paint that, but still it's a matte paint. This wreck which I did, which is very matte. The heavy mattes to this one, which is in fact a gloss, but it's on a satin base coat. So the final finish is not high gloss like the surface of the Ferrari, because you've got that satin coming through, versus this one, which is at least gloss blue. The yellow is matte and the underside chrome is gloss. This one is sort of a mix. This is more satins, which is actually very nice. But what I was going to say is the second best tip which I could give to advancing modeling, and it's what's happened with my modeling since the 90s, and certainly maybe in the last 25 years, is getting to the point where my model is ready for weathering, but I don't have a matte surface. Number one, it's screamingly obvious that putting decals onto matte is just no go, unless you use, intermediaries like I have done by putting a bit of the floor wax just on that area, then putting that on. There are ways that you can get decals onto a matte, but you can see it afterwards. You can see the fact that work was done in that area. So your decals go onto a I'll say a gloss satin to a high gloss, and then you can do your weathering with oils or inks or whatever, and you're keeping the overall effect very nice and smooth and shiny until you're ready at the end to decide whether overall you now want a satin varnish finish, if you really wanted a matte like that B25, which really can only be heavy matte because it's extremely heavily weathered, or you want stuff that just looks somewhat shiny looking. Now this has got weathering on the flaps and ailerons, not heavy and possibly not even correct. It doesn't matter. What matters is that there's oil weathering on there onto a gloss surface, and you can still get it looking quite acceptable without yet going to matte. So I'm not going to say it's the right way or the wrong way. I'm just saying it is a method by which you can start using oils, and using oils on matte is the oil doesn't move around. If you haven't messed around with oils, putting a little bit of oil or diluted oil color, browns, blacks, and getting it to sort of smear and move around is way 100 times better on gloss. Then you leave that alone to dry. It does need a fair bit of time to dry, and then you can come back and do a satin coat if you wanted to. Yeah, so give your comments on that. It's you know, it's not, you can't say it's the right way or the wrong way. It's just an approach. And I'm interested to hear your comments on that. Okay, I almost forgot what I wanted to speak on this one, apart from the matte coat. Kit bashing. So I'm pondering, and I don't do this often enough. Somebody also mentioned kit bashing. I feel like I need to do a couple of kit bashes. Actually, to be honest, I did a very nice one a while back. It was an F111. Everyone was given this F111 kit. We had this group build. You had 2 hours, I think, to work it. Do what you wanted, but it had to be finished in 2 hours. So I built a thing using the parts from the box, not all of the parts, which was not an F111. It was some new, weird, interesting contraption, possibly spaceship looking. I could kit bash this thing so that it looks somewhat interesting. I mean, I know there's a bit of thought, you know, well, that's blasphemy, you know, wrecking a good classic airframe by kit bashing it. But, you know, when you've got so many models and you're allowing yourself that creativity of messing around with something, especially something that you didn't even obtain in the first place, but that hardly matters. You know, if it was saved out of the bin and you want to try something interesting with it, I'm thinking of doing that. Might just kit bash that, because I mean there's enough of any aircraft that you've ever seen on a display table or on the internet or whatever, but you don't really see many kit bashes. Then I thought, let's have a quick look inside here. I haven't looked inside this one for ages. I do like this aeroplane, very historic. And I don't know, I don't even know if I've built a Glencoe models. If I have, it'll be like one ever. So this is 148. That is quite a big wing. Two-piece wing. There's not a hell of a lot in this box. I hope everything's here. Yeah, you don't really get to see the cylinders because there's stuff blocking it. So basically all you do is see the tappet covers, the last bit of the head, the valve towers. So that, this thing's even got the, you know, that aluminium, I don't know what they call that work where they sort of run that circular shiner on and they do that pattern onto the aluminium. This has actually got raised detail to sort of represent that. Obviously it shouldn't be raised, but it at least gives you a little bit of the effect of that. Very simple model. Even the horizontal stab, the whole horizontal thing is just a one piece. So is the fin. Prop is okay, a little bit thin there. Anyway, very, very simple kit. But very historic, very, very well known, so I will build that at some stage. So I've had some comments from you on which of those FX blister packs to open, but it's sort of equal at this stage. Matador, Sopwith Pup, Avro 504. So we'll see. I don't know which one I'll tackle first. Now coming up this weekend, I'm going to the Air Force Museum, and I'm going to try and make video for you at the Air Force Museum. The main Air Force Museum of New Zealand, but it's not the biggest one. There's a big one in Auckland, which has some very interesting aircraft. But anyway, I will show you what's at this one. Now, there's a weird lighting system that they've got. They cycle through colors of lights, and you can only really see the aircraft properly during the white phase. They go through a blue-purple phase, which makes it really, really weird. So I'm going to do pause. I think I'm going to do pausing when it goes through those weird darker phases, and try and make a video for you, or two videos, because there's sort of two sections that I'd need to walk through. Hope it works out. We'll see. There's some interesting aircraft. So keep a lookout for that one coming my Sunday, which will not necessarily be the Sunday for you when you watch it. So I'm still busy organizing. It's not something that just happens that quickly. But I do feel like, because I've got this stuff on the shelf, I've got them visible there, right there. It makes it more likely to be working on the correct things, even though, and actually this is another aspect of that whole working on multiple kits all at once. Some people do feel that they need to finish a project when they start it. I have said in other videos, I don't feel that need. It's nice, but I just can't, and I'm too far gone now. But it does. It's when I see them all there on the shelf like that, and you've got them laid out, all these half-built, even though I've got way too many to even fit on the shelf there. Sort of a bit like you've got this museum hanger, restoration hanger, and you're busy working long-term on all of these kits, and that's almost a nice thing. You don't have to finish them and get them onto the showroom floor. You can work on individual kits and progress them as you feel necessary. So, I mean, I'm sure amongst my viewership there's 50-50 modelers who really do need to finish things and not have their area cluttered, and the other half work on many kits at once. At once is a bit of an overstatement, but you know, they've got many kits on the go. So I will sort of be regarding that as my restoration area, and hopefully pay a little bit more attention to those that should get attention to be finished, some for decades. And then the last thing is I've started on a kit. When I say I've started on a kit, I've started looking at a kit and getting my head around the nature of this aircraft. For an aircraft that I've put aside for so long, I've sort of ignored it, and it's not the prettiest. And yet finally now I've got a connection to this aircraft, and that is the P-47. Which sort of takes a second, backseat to the Mustang and the Hellcat and things like that. But I've got a very nice model of the Jug, and it is a very awesome aeroplane. Now, I know it's no point in me really going off on any one particular aeroplane, because everyone's got their favorite topics. But it is nice when you hit a topic, you hit something that you quite get into, and you've got your vision of what this model's going to be like, and you've got your color scheme ready, and you're getting really excited about that. Okay, happy modeling everyone, till next time.